Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Scrapbook Live for May of 2024. It is a good day to sit down and scrapbook, and I peeked at the kits. They're so pretty, so I can't wait to show you. I did print some photos, and we have a load challenge going on. So I thought I'd maybe start by talking about that. We are doing a load inspired by James Bond, and we're calling it Load 524 Shaken Not Stirred. So that's kind of what's going on within our Scrap Happy group right now. And that means that we have a prompt for today. And for once, I'm actually not the featured designer of the day. Like, I think this happened like a couple times in a row where I'm like, I was the featured designer, so I've actually done this prompt already. But today I'm not, so all is good. It is the 11th. So today we have actually talked about each of the Bond actors recently. That has been our little run of the week. And today is Daniel Craig. So we talked about him, gave a little bit of background information. One of the things that came up when I was doing my research about him was how he um, had a lot of injuries because he did a lot of his own stunts. And so, oh my goodness, um, like the labrum in his shoulder, I think that got injured again, something with his calf, twice, I think, with his ankle, needed to like pause for surgery. He filmed some stuff in a boot brace. Like it was crazy just like hearing about the stuff that they do and how hard that was on him. So that led to us having our prompt of the day. Um, for the technique. And the technique said, as a tribute to the wear and tear on the actor during filming, use some distressing or paper tearing on your layout. And I'm like, oh, this is such a good prompt. I was just so excited to have it tied in so good to that. And then as for the story prompt, it was kind of talking a little bit about how when he was announced as the actor to play the next Bond, they're the world was in an uproar. They're like, he's blonde Bond. They were calling him all James Blonde. And it was like this huge, yeah, it was this huge thing with um not being able, like people just not seeing him in the role. Plus he was only 5'10" and not super tall, and the way the character was written, so people really didn't think that he could be a Bond. And then the first show came out and they're like, oh yeah, he's Bond. What is going on here? Got a weird message. It says, due to the number of participants, system messages for those who joined or left have been disabled. Oh, I guess if things are going in and out, they get shut down. Zoom's being a little weird. Okay, protectionist, I guess. um, but anyways, hopefully I'll see everyone's chat. And thank you, Marcia. She says she likes my talk. So one thing that came out was the actors who had played Bond before actually came out in support of Daniel Craig. And just having those people that have been in the role say, yeah, I think he can do this role, I think was probably a bit of a sigh of relief, even as the world was saying, no, he's going to be terrible. So for our prompt today, we're going to scrapbook about your biggest supporter and how they stand by you. So that is what we're up to today. I have printed some photos of my husband and related to things that we do. So I actually have 5 photos printed. They're smaller. Um, and I'm going to try to fit those on the page. I don't really know what that's going to look like yet, so we'll figure that out together. But let's see what I'm going to be using to scrapbook. So let's switch to yes, so you can still see me. I'm up in the corner, and we are going to look at what's in the kits. So first off, I get the add-on bonus kit. This is an extra to the kits from the scrap room. I get a flavors of the month kit, and then I get the add-on embellishment kit because extra fun things are extra fun, right? So we'll have a look at that with those pieces as we go through each of the kits. And in front of me, oh, like I have the paper. So when I opened up the packet, I'm like, what kind of coffee is this one? And they have Amaretto Kiss, just this little coffee sample of Amaretto Kiss. I was not ready to have coffee yet today. So that is not in my cup, but I have everything listed here as to what's in the kit. So first up, I don't remember there being 49th and Market in the kits before, but this is a 49th and Market kit. So let's take a peek at that. This is called Kaleidoscope. So it is the 49th and Market Kaleidoscope. So we can see there's a whole pack of lovely embellishments that we'll take a peek at in a sec. But look at this pretty paper. Oh my goodness. Sharon says, I love 49th and Market. Me too. So 49 Market, this, I love the little swirls with the cute little hummingbirds on there. I think it goes really well if you're going somewhere tropical, but also this would be perfect for just backyard stuff, right? Like you hang up your hummingbird feeder and it's like those first signs of summer and spring when the birds all come back. So yeah, just really pretty. And it has a lot of the texture and stuff pre-done for you. So you can just like add to it, right? Deborah says, I love it. I just bought that kit. And then on the back, we have a pretty paper that has some botanicals and some continuing with the hummingbirds. You've got some little berries on it. They've got a little bit of writing kind of put into like distressed into the background. And then there's this polka dot paper, and you're picking up the pinks, like they're like kind of a deep pink that you can see in the hummingbirds and in the florals from the other side. So these deep pinks. The cutoff strips are usable cutoff strips. I'm just going to point that out. All things I love about kids. And ooh, that's really lovely. With the birds and the flowers. Yeah. Oh, I'm liking this kit a lot. And look at the kind of watercolory background that you can see with that. It's like when it's already done for you, sometimes the scrapbooking is just so easy. Okay, this one has like this big geometric pattern on it. It's funny because like they look like they're closed circles, but they're not fully closed. Like you can see the circles are slightly open on all of the connection points, which is a little interesting, to something a little different. You got like a little stitching line running along the edge here on the cutoff strip, and then another page featuring the hummingbirds and flowers. Nice. Okay. I've got 2 sheets of flat basil paper, the coconut swirl flat basil, and yeah, pretty papers. Really strong in the shades of blue with pink. Like there's other highlighted colors, obviously, with your greens and your yellows, but this is really leaning into the pinks and blues for sure. Okay, let's have a look at the little pieces that are in here. So it says that I have 2 sheets of coconut swirl and a mixture of ephemera and chipboard, and it varies. So depending on what is in your specific kit. Oh, that's cute. It's like a little envelope piece, and it's actually scored so that you could bend the pieces over, tape them on. You won't see those parts of it, like the edges. You'll just see the little envelope pocket to tuck something into. Let's see. You've got some little chipboard bits. These flowers and stuff are chipboard. Oh, their cardstock is so thick, it's almost hard to tell. Like when I'm pulling out the chipboard versus the just the die cut pieces, like this one's chipboard, but like their paper is so thick for anybody that doesn't know. Like you can just kind of hear it in the weight of it, right? Like it's amazing paper. But I've got a large variety of pieces in here. Some of them are scored, so you can do some different things with that. Here's some more chipboard bits. I got one of the little birds. Oh, happy day. There's a little dragonfly. Yeah, so lots of pieces, lots of fun ephemera pieces. I kind of like that little pocket. Like that's very fascinating to me actually. Oh, and let's have a look. What is the extra add-on embellishment kit? It says there is some laser cuts. Okay, okay. They do laser cuts. Wow, okay. I'm just gonna set that aside for a second. So I actually have this full sheet of laser cuts from them in my add-on embellishments. And so these are all ready for you to just pop out and you can see all the different fun designs on those. Am I taking too long with this? I really like this collection. So maybe I'm taking too long, but it's like, it's so pretty. That happens sometimes, right? When you, it's like, oh, I spent a lot of time looking at this paper, but I really like it. Okay, let's try to tuck these pieces back in here. That's one thing, they're easy to pick up because the paper is so thick you can actually grab it. If you were doing planners, this might not be the paper that you would choose, but it's wonderful for that. Oh yeah, yeah. Marcia says, I adore that window, right? And yeah, super cute. And just like with the die cutting, maybe you can't see very well because it's on this paper. But if I hold it up against one of these other papers, you'll see that there's lots of little pieces missing in the background, right? So the holes on these um, little bow tie kind of pieces are cut out in the background, and all of the little filigree on this piece is all cut out on the background and in this one as well. um, the little white spaces on the leaves are completely cut out, and the designs have been overbled a little bit, so there's no white edges around the stuff. So just details that you notice. I often find myself fussy cutting, believe it or not, because I hate that. I hate fussy cutting, but I will find myself fussy cutting some die cuts sometimes because they have all the white edges around, and I don't always like that look. And with pieces like this, you don't have to do that because you don't have those little white edges. Okay, so that's just one of the four. Like, it's like, Alice, are you gonna actually scrapbook today, or are you just gonna look at pretty papers? It's not a terrible thing, right? Not a terrible thing. Okay, let's set this here. That was just our first kit. Let's see if I can be any faster going into the next one. No promises. Okay, Cardabella Bloom is our next one. And so we are starting off with the full 12 by 12 sticker sheet. So that is always a good start. You can really see the different kinds of embellishments in the collection when you have that sticker sheet too. So if you're ever wondering, like if you're in a scrapbook store or you're looking online and you're trying to see like what are these kits really about, and you're kind of looking at the papers don't always tell you that whole story, but you look at that full sticker sheet, that kind of gives you a good idea. You can see the featured colors right here easily on the sheet, right? Like look what they featured in the little banner pieces. And in this, you can see like what kind of sentiments are they thinking about when they're designing this kit. And then of course you've got all the like what kind of icons. So like there's flowers, there's butterflies. Like that's kind of the big icons I've gone with here. But just something to think about when you're looking at a kit and trying to say like what were they thinking that would translate into for scrapbook stuff. Marcia's like, that's a good tip. Yeah, seeing the colors that are gonna go, that's really helpful. Even if you don't buy the stickers, maybe you're not a sticker person, but like seeing this kind of gives you the whole idea of what that collection's about. Okay, this first paper I really like. Papers with a little bit of floral or something in the corner with this ledger paper in the background. I really like that kind of paper. I will say this paper has a cream base, not a white base. Just saying. It does. And then we've got like this soft minty green on the background with this nice pattern. It's a little distressed around the edges, which is nice if you're using full sheet. I find it not as nice if you're cutting off pieces and strips. So just note to all designers. it's like I'm not always using it the way you're thinking I'm using it. We got some yellow ledger paper, and it's kind of a marigoldy kind of yellow. And then, ooh, look at that pretty floral. That's like your busy floral, right? You cover up lots of it, and it's like just such a nice touch to see a little bit and see all of it at once. It's like, whoa. um, and then we've got a nice blue. This one has like a similar kind of circle pattern going on it a little bit, and that nice monochromatic. So this has got your like your smaller floral pattern. There's kind of a bit of a template that I think that a lot of designers use when they're putting together a kit. You'll have like your big floral, you'll have your like fill the page floral, and then you'll have your smaller breathable space floral. If there's actual names for those, let me know because this is kind of a pretty common for what you see. And then with this, we've got a lovely array of those colors that we see. We don't have the pink in these three, but I bet you there is also a pink in another piece from this collection. Also with this, I've got 2 sheets of coordinating cream puff, slightly textured cardstock, which is a really great choice because this paper is, the Cartabella paper is textured. So it feels just nice, right? It feels lovely. So we've seen the embellishments already, but what is extra embellishments? We've got enamel dots to go with this. So I've got a half pack of the Cartabella enamel dots that go with this collection. So you can see they're a perfect match. Okay, that was a little bit faster. I still could drooled over it a little, right? Not a good thing to do when you have paper, getting your drooling all over it, but I think we did good. Okay. Okay, next up, we've got over here, like too many flat surfaces. Okay, next up we got Pink Paisley Joyful Notes. Is this one? Yes, it is. Okay. Pink Paisley Joyful Notes. So I've got here a full sticker sheet, and this is a half of a sticker sheet. So they have split this. It was like a double, and they've split this. So each person will get half. So you'll get this half or the other half. I got the half with these nice strips and a few of the florals, a little bit of, these are kind of fun, like those little whoop, 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 scallopy edges, I guess. You know, whoop, whoop, whoops. That's why you watch me, for all the technical experience, technical knowledge that I share for the whoop, whoop, whoops. Okay, so we have a really pretty floral. Now, this like the colors in this one are definitely deeper and richer, like more jewel tone kind of colors. It kind of has a slightly more mature feel to the palette. I like this a lot. It is pretty. And we've got like a lot of different colors being showcased here, but I like the look of this pattern a lot. Nice job, Pink Paisley. And then on the back, we have a plaid. And due to my recent experience on the Sean Connery Day, we learned a little bit about tartans and plaids. And we learned that all tartans are a plaid, but not all plaids are tartan. And that part of tartans to be a tartan, they will actually be spaced in ways that they are equal going this way. The cross lines are equal this way as they are going this way. And so you end up seeing squares in all of the patterns because all of the lines that are going this way are also represented going in the vertical and the horizontal directions. So that's a tartan. And this one appears to be a tartan with all of my fancy new knowledge. Things I didn't know that I wanted to know, right? That's what happens during load. It's like, oh, Alice went down a rabbit hole and now we learned about tartans and plaids. And I share it all with you. And so now we've got a nice diagonal stripe to go with this. It's funny, I don't love all of these colors, but I really love this stripe. So It looks very bright on camera. I'm not sure if you're seeing it as bright. It's bright, but it doesn't feel too bright. Um, and then a nice floral with a navy background. This is a navy background floral. We've got a little bit of writing. Now, can we actually read this writing? It is. Lately, every day has been like a breath of fresh air. It's as if the world, blah, blah, blah. And guess what? I rediscovered the joy of reading, curling up with a good book. And I'm just trying to pick out some of the stuff to see like what were they writing about. And it repeats because like I've seen some of them a few times, but very cute. And then we've got another navy. I will say I don't like this floral very much, but it's okay. This is the first one that I'm like, I'd cover a lot of that one up. I don't know if it's like the weird shades of the green, maybe. They don't feel like floral greens. They feel to me. There you go. Technical. I got 2 sheets of cardstock to go with this one. Okay, cardstock. So I really love this. I really love this. I like this. This is a very usable kit. And so for words that I have, I've got a happy birthday. You are not alone. Good vibes. And then it says something in here, choose kindness. So it's kind of general. In the add-on embellishments, I have a half pack of the pink paisley thickers. So these are the thickers. So I've got a happy birthday, congratulations, thinking of you, good vibes, very card type things. You did it. Thank you, love, hello. Man, that would like, just think of the cards. Throw those on a card and they'll be beautiful and done if that's what you want to do. Um, but also some of those translate to scrapbooking. Congratulations, good vibes, happy birthday. Um, thinking of, I guess you could use all of them on scrapbooks too. So yeah, okay. Well, I love the colors in this palette actually. I wasn't expecting the the richness of some of those colors. Uh, Jackie says, you're not alone. Perfect for today's prompt. Just saying. Aw, that's so good. There's a lot of floral in this kit. Well, yeah, pink paisley, that's definitely gonna happen, right? Okay. So one final kit to look at. Totally different vibe on this one. It is from Simple Stories and it is called Pack Your Bags. So with that title like that, obviously we're looking at a travel collection. We'll look at these in just a sec. But first off, we can see the airplane in the clouds. And I'm just gonna say, I travel a lot, or have done some travel a lot in the last 2 years. So the last 2 years, we've done a fair bit of travel. I don't tend to use a lot of travel collections because I tend to scrapbook more about being at my destination, not going on the way, if that makes any sense. Although I do cruising, so I guess that's both, right? We've done some cruising, but I like the subtleness of this little airplane. It's there, the jet's there, but it's not like in your face. So, um, and I think these will translate actually well to some pages. We got some orange grid on the back of this one. Nice little orange grid, monochromatic grid. We've got a an old map. It definitely has that old map vibe to it, whether it's actually old map or not. We've got something about the North Sea, the Mediterranean. You can see the Italy boot. You can see Germany listed on here. We've got the Black Sea. You can read some of the stuff, but it's not like in your face. It's definitely map paper though. And then we've got a floral with the little some flowers. And then we've got this neat, this is like a dark navy background with these little hearts. I think it's really cute. And then we've got some bags. All you know, it was called Pack Your Bags, right? So I guess we're gonna give you some bags. And then we've got some sheets of graphite cardstock. It looks black with a hint of something to it, like a hint of blue maybe. So there we go. That is our final collection. And then we have included with this, we've got a mixture of bits and pieces and journal pieces. So we've got a little variety. So we've got some of these textured foam bits. And then I have a little mixture of this. We've got some notes, note paper here and there. I'd go everywhere with you. These are actually really cute. There's a taxi on there. Nowadays, it needs to be an Uber. Let's be real. We've got a map with a little geotag on it. So there we go. We've those are the pieces included. And then in the add-on embellishments, I don't have to look. This one's easy. It is the full 12 by 12 sticker sheet for this Pack Your Bags collection from Simple Stories. And so here you can see more of the icons. They've got this cute little swimsuit. There's bicycles, there's cars and planes and VW buses and or vans. I mean, the cameras and glasses, hot air balloons. Really cute. I don't see any cruise ships. They could have had a cruise ship on here. That would have fit. I could have used it, but all good. I like it. So, yeah, so that's really cute too. Good choices. Dang. Dang. When they're all good, it's like now I have to actually choose what I'm going to scrapbook with. So, here's what I'll do. I'll show you what my pictures are. I haven't actually chosen which of the collections I would use because that would just be like ruining the fun, right? I had a look and I'm like, okay, my pictures will work with this. And pop that in here. Okay. So first off, going with that story prompt about your biggest supporter, I thought I would scrapbook something about my husband. And so I did print off pictures about him and about how he supports me. And I thought I wrote down notes, but I might have not kept them here. Oh, no, 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 I did. Okay, okay. So this is us. They're all pictures from the same trip. And this was the cruise that we did in February. And so this is us at the theater lining up to go on an excursion, but we also would go out to the theater. And I think you can see in his expression that we're there for me and not for him. And then also here we are on an excursion, and you might get that same impression like, oh my gosh, are we really taking one more photo? But he's taking one more photo. And while he's like right there encouraging me to do my yoga and other fitness classes that we did on board, my downward dog's starting to look pretty decent now. He's also the first person to say, here, I brought you this thing for your photo op. And that sucker was not delicious. I'm just going to pass that on. Cute for a photo, though. And then, right there with me as we share the experience of getting to see kangaroos and pet and feed them. So, um, yeah, I thought like that these pictures, like they have to be trimmed, and the way my thing prints, like it doesn't leave enough space in the middle a lot of times. But yeah, I thought I would trim these down and bring all those into one page. Now, for color wise, he's wearing gray like all the time. I've got some purples on, so if that could pull into it, that would be great. If not, that's fine. Um, Now we are traveling, so a travel collection could go really quite well with this. The colors would be totally fine for this. And I think that would be like a fun little spin on it. I also quite liked this this collection with the papers. This one here with the florals and stuff I liked as well. And then we have this one that I kind of drooled over for what, half an hour maybe. We've got this one with the hummingbirds and stuff too, which there's not really purple. I think this is the not purple. None of them have purple. Let's just say none of them have the shades of purple that I'm wearing. Like there's no lavender in these collections, but I think they lend themselves enough to any of them. I literally could use any of these collections and make great pages, right? And I think sometimes we get so wrapped up in thinking we have to have just the perfect paper that it's like any of these would be lovely. Like any of these would be lovely. Because I have 5 photos, I will be covering a lot of ground unless I do something interactive on it. So that's always an option too. I'm leaning towards this one, but I really liked this paper. There's not a lot of plain cardstock in this one. It's very, very colorful. Oh, and then we got the travel. I'm so torn. So so torn because the travel stuff would work. I'll tell you, I don't love the colors as much. I'm not drawn to them as much. So I'm gonna put that one away. If I'm narrowing down, this is not white, but also I'm wearing like kind of, my pictures aren't super white in there. That might be a good time to actually use something that is cream. Am I hoarding this one? I really liked it when I looked through it. I think I would do exactly what I've always done in that one. So I think we're going to go with this one or that one. I think we're going to go with this one, actually. Okay, try to mix them, maybe, says Marsha. Oh my gosh, that's way too brave. I need something just to be easy. I was told to use the colors that you love, so I use my colors and I don't worry too much about the colors in the photo. It's true. I don't worry unless something is like super clashy and I'm like, that doesn't even look good together. I don't think I had any problems with that for this collection. I just noticed that I'm wearing this purple, like you can see it in several of the photos. I think this one's gonna go the nicest. I think it has good sentiments, like for that. Um, yeah, I don't know. I kind of like that darker colored one. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the darker colored one. Ha ha! I fooled you. I'm totally not choosing that. I just really liked it. So there we go. We're gonna go with this one. There we go. So one of the advantages of having these kits is that everything just kind of matches already. And so like, well, I could mix and match between kits. That might be more work. And that's well, it's always a possibility. I'm just gonna set the cardstock aside for a sec. I will say this collection here, we don't really have a lot of neutral paper. So I might actually grab cardstock that matches with this in order to give me some more neutral. Or I'll just play with this. We'll see. Okay, let's start chopping up my photos first, I think. I think that's what we'll do first. And we'll go from there. So I print my photos at home. There's a few standard sizes. There's a few standard sizes that I do. Um, Basically, these ones are almost 3x4. I printed them with borders. Um, if I can shrink the photos a little bit more, then I can get a space between them and then I can leave the white edges, which I quite like a lot. So I do quite a bit, but I didn't shrink these ones down enough for that. So I won't have that. I might end up matting them in the end. We'll see because I do tend to leave the white borders on a lot. So just for reference, let's look at them on here. Yeah, I'm definitely going to need to create some separation on this page. Now, this is one of my patterns that I really would like to be able to use. I'm going to plaid, but it might be hard to access. So, question to you. Have you been working on this load challenge? And how has it been going for you so far? Have you been getting all of the pages done? I'm so far 10 for 10, and I'm like super happy with that. I'm like really excited to be 10 for 10 for this challenge so far. That's a third of the month done, right? Okay, so let's just get these chopped. When they first came out with these trimmers that have the little wire on them, I'm like, what do we need those for? And then I saw how easy it was to line up exactly where your trimmer was going to cut. And I'm like, sold forever. Sold forever. Total convert. I know exactly why we need this. So I love it. Diane says she's 10 for 10 so far. Woo! Yay. Okay. So I just love this floral so much. I know I'm gonna use a good piece of it. So let's trim off and I'm trimming the strips. I like to do that more on the side where you actually can see the strip. There we go. Now, I want some of this paper. I want some of this paper. So options. Starting to think about design options and stuff too. Right? This is a lot of photos. I'm not so sure about wanting my butt sticking up on a page. I'm like, Alice, why did you print a picture of you doing yoga? I'm having second thoughts. I'm having second thoughts. And so I like kind of almost like a little circular story idea to this. I wonder what I can do around that idea. I have an idea. I have an idea. Here we go. I think what we're going to do, what we're going to start off by doing is I like this idea of this kind of like traveling around and telling a story around the edge. So what I think I'm going to do is have a circle in the middle of this. And I think I could use this extra pattern if I cut a circle with this and then just flip that piece over. Now I'll have to mount it on some kind of cardstock or something that's like a problem for after. I don't want to like chop up too much of my stuff yet, but I think having this circle in the middle would be excellent. So let's start with that. Now that we know, I just love this pattern so much. So, um, okay. Oh dear. Okay. I thought it was missing for a second. I thought it was missing for a second. I was like, oh, what did I do? Okay, so Bonnie says, I love the technique to add a circle. So we are still thinking about technique and about just some distressing or paper tearing. I cannot cut circles with distressing and tearing. Like I have some skills, but not those ones. let's let's not think of that. So I have this old cutting system. It is Creative Memories. There are different circle sizes, and I think I'd like to do like kind of a large one in the middle of this. I think that would be that would serve me kind of the best on this. So I'm going to lay this in the center here on my mat and to my tower. Okay, so considerations. I want to add the circle, but I'm also thinking that it might be really cool to have a little thin line circle around that. So, Alice, how can you make it more complicated for yourself? Do it like that. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna use the largest distance that I can make for a circle. So I still have the option of making a thinner one also, right? Because this is an idea. So it looks pretty centered. I'm not even gonna measure it. It looks good to my eye. I'm sure it'll be fine. So these blades are pretty old, but they still work. So just making sure before I move anything that I've got it completely out. There we go. And so that's how easy it is to make a circle and put it back in your page. Ta-da! If I had to set that up on a cutting machine, I would never be that fast. Um, Bonnie says, I love the technique to add a circle. The thin line will be worth the trouble, says Jackie. I agree. I agree. And Donna says, I wish my silhouette was working. And Bonnie says she's working on a cherry on top. National Scrapbooking Day challenges from last weekend. Completed 4 layouts so far. Creative memory cutters for the win, says Brielle. Right? Amazing. Oh, now I'm looking at this and I really think that a little border piece around the middle would be nice. Now you can see it's practically a circle already right there. And like, I did not see that circle effect. Why didn't I see that? When I was looking at it like this. Why didn't I see that this was like a wreath kind of circle? Did you see that beforehand? I didn't see it before. It totally is. Once I cut this out of here, I was like, huh, that's a circle. Those little florals are making a perfect wreath. That was a happy accident, y'all. I didn't notice. But it is. And now I'm scared that it's making this, because it's making this lovely shape, I don't really want to put a little, maybe, no, it'll just be a thin line. It's going to be good. Okay. So I want to get a piece of paper that, no, I'm not going to ruin a whole one just for that. And this is not going to work. Okay. I want a thin line, but I want to have it in like some kind of contrast color. So my options are to do this white, which I think would be okay, a little boring, but I think pulling like that navy line and having just like a navy line around there would be better. So I'm gonna grab a piece of navy paper. I'll be right back. Right back. Oh yeah. Okay. So yes to navy. Okay, yay. Okay. So I have backup. Have backup on the idea. Okay, so now we're gonna do circles again. I'm gonna show this again. We're gonna use different sizes of circles to make it work out. Now I'm gonna have a little thin line. And to do this, I have to make 2 cuts. And I'm going to do I want it to be right against the edge. So one of them is going to be this one, and the other, I think, to get it wide enough that it won't be too painful to stick down, I will use the smallest one. Okay, so one is going to be exactly the same as this, and one is going to be smaller. So I'll have a smaller piece to sit towards the inside. or the outside more. Anyways, it will work. So most important thing first is to cut the small piece out first and then do the big piece, because otherwise your thing's gonna be moving around too much, right? You want to cut the hole out first from the middle. Okay, good. So when I have a piece like this is like now a leftover piece that I'm not planning to use, but when I have a piece like that, that's like a lovely circle, I just save that to the side somewhere that ends up kind of being tucked onto a page. And I'm going to use the small one. So this is going to make a really thin circle, but that's why we cut the center out first, because you didn't want, like, if you cut the outside edge first and then you cut the small part, it's just going to start spinning and you're going to have a nightmare. So cut out the middle first. There we go. All right, we've got those in here. We have just this tiny little tiny circle and this nice little navy page that I will set up here. Okay. And now it looks like this with this nice little navy circle. Isn't that pretty? Doesn't that like frame it off beautiful? I think we can do one more thing to frame this paper off even more beautiful. And that is if we take this navy paper, ooh, this one's kind of been chewed. Oh, it's okay on this side. Okay. If I cut just a little tiny bit off of the edge here, I can just frame the tiny little edge corners. So I'm going to do that. Because I mostly centered this, I'm going to cut from all the sides. And I'm going to cut these ones first. So I'm going to cut just a little tiny piece off there. Now, I chose these sides first only because of the pattern. And just thinking like, oh, what if I want a little piece of this? Because those are 12-inch wide. And now these ones I will cut as well. They're the same, but not the same. And I'll show you just in a second why I chose that. So I could tell this by looking at that grid pattern really quickly that the ones that were going to be full 12-inch, I wanted them to, have like a nice kind of pattern to them. The ones that I cut from the other side, just looking at them, you see how they have that big dark line in the middle of them? They just didn't look as good. Like these ones just, to my eye, don't look as good. That's why I cut these ones as the 12-inch strip, and then these ones are just the smaller pieces. Like I'll still have them, but they're not 12 inches, right? So, okay. So now 10 million layers coming together. Without this, you can kind of see now I've got my little template there. It doesn't help me with the background. I guess I could have done that with a different sheet. Maybe I should just still do that and also have that. Okay, I'll just set this one aside because then I don't need to grab another sheet to layer the stuff. So, okay, so we have this background here. We'll get stuck to this. This will get stuck to this. This will get stuck to this. Isn't that pretty? Oh, okay. So I love it. Debbie says I would have been lazy and put the navy as a backing, and then I wouldn't have had to glue the tiny circle. Yeah, like there's different ways to do this, definitely, where I could have had this piece here smaller. Like I could have cut the centers out differently. So This was not the be all end all only way of doing it for sure, but I think it turned out super good. So I'm happy with that. There so far has not been any distressing on here. Hopefully that does not distress you. But I like it. So that's where we're at so far. Don't lose the pieces. I'm going to stick it down just so I know where we're at. Now, I think that anybody that was looking at this floral paper and thinking, oh my gosh, that floral paper is a lot, because it is. Like when you're looking at this floral, there's a lot going on there. Just always remind yourself that you're going to cover a lot of it up. Like I have 5 little photos to stick on this. And even though they're only half-size photos, um, that's still a lot. That's 2.5 pictures, like 4x6 pictures. Okay, I'm gonna go around the middle part here as well. It's still a lot, right? So, okay. Yeah, stick that down. Now, have this lovely piece that just fits perfectly into there. Let's stick that one down. Did we get it all? All right, let's try to make sure these lines go up and down. Otherwise, I won't be happy with that. Will the photos fit inside the circle? Trim the edges? Kind of, sort of. I think what will happen, okay. And so I'm just lining up this one grid line here with my T-square so I can try to make this straight. I think that'll be good. And I think rather than could I have the photos on the inside? I think it'll cut too much off of the pictures. Like if I just did the collage, I think I'm gonna like it better if it's sticking off. Now, if I don't use all the photos, not the end of the world. Like, would I miss this if I didn't, if I took these 2 out and I just chose to focus on the 2 of us? That would also be fine. It all comes to how I tell the story, right? Okay, now I'm gonna add, I think I want to add this now, but I also am not 100% sure I want to add this now, because part of fitting things in together means that maybe I want the little ring part to be like interactive with my photos, right? Like that could go well if the ring was interactive and the photos were kind of within that frame. Let's see, with a title, it might be better without the other photos. I think it might be. I think that might be too much. Now, could I use them if I made a pocket or if I made one of the things into something? Sure, I could. But I think leaving them out for this will be a good triage. So, oh, the stuff we have to think about, right? Okay, now they gave me a textured cardstock, but it's flat on one side. And I think for the sake of this layout, I would probably prefer it to be flat. So I'm going to take these circles and tuck them away. Another mat. Yes, I do have 2 of these mats. I use them a lot. And I used to do classes in my workshop, so I had the 2 mats then, and I tell you, I love it. Okay, I'm gonna mat these photos because I feel like they're really blending in on here, and I want them to be a little bit matted. Almost wish I had resized the photos a little bit so they would fit, but it didn't work out. So Just have to mat these up quick. And here. Now, one of the things that I still have is this lovely diagonal stripe paper and that word paper. So the word one is a little tough because it has so much print on it. I don't really have an option for printing on any of these patterns. Like this is the back, this is the other. None of these are printable pattern paper. So that is a challenge, which means I have to either pull different cardstock or use the white. All options that are available to me. One of the things I'm really sad about with Close to My Heart on its way out is that I did pick up a lot of cardstock through them over the years. And that means my stash is adequate, let's just say. But I do run out of things. and, and that is, having to find a new replacement for some of the things that I've just had so easy for so long has, it's a little sad. Okay. And my window's open. I don't know if you'll catch it on the mic, but I can hear the rooster crowing. He's not close to the house right now. We've had a fox in the yard, so. Oh, Amy says she has to leave early. We're gonna do the draw right away. We're at the top of the hour. So if you have a couple moments, I can do it. I can do it right away. Okay, let's go. I'll just stick these together and then we can stop and do the draw. Hopefully she's still here. And we'll do it right now. Okay, so things are in a good place. Things are moving. The page is developing. I'm excited, but let's switch over and we will do our draw right now because we're at the top of the hour. That's when I tend to try to do it. You heard all the commitment within that statement, right? It's like sometimes she sort of does something the same. Random number generator. Okay, let's have a look here. Ooh, 24 in the house right now. One of them is me. So best odds of the year so far, actually. Let's pull this open. We have one is me, so that's out of 23. Type 23. Now I'm going to hit the number, the thing that says generate, and it says 21. Okay, so let me 11, 12, 13, 14, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 21 is Rachel. Rachel, congratulations. I need you to send me an email and I'll type right here where you can send your email and you will win one of these fabulous kits. So what is on the line for Rachel? She will receive a Flavors of the Month kit from the Scrap Room. You can find the Scrap Room at scrap-room.com. And they will have this specific kit, this whole Flavors of the Month kit set aside just for Rachel, and she will get the May kit. They do sell out a lot for their monthly kits. You can get them on subscription so that you get the kit every single month, or you can just buy one kit as you kind of feel so inclined. Rachel says, wow, thank you. So I'll just make sure that my email has popped into there for you, Rachel, so that you can get that and send me the email. She says, yes, I see it. Perfect. Congratulations. Congratulations. So I will send that off to the Scrap Room. Oh my gosh, working with these kids has been such a delight. You can see what it's like when I'm opening up the supplies. It's like, ooh, I love this. I love this. They're so well designed in the putting together of the kits and choosing the papers to go in the collections. I love them. And I don't envy the challenge of trying to put together kits like these from all of these different suppliers and resource places. And the fact that they put together such lovely kits every single month is just stunning to me. And the flavors of the month have 4 little mini kits, as we saw. They also do have add-on embellishment kits. You can get add-on cardstock if you need more cardstock for things. So they have different options for that. But they also offer different types of kits. So they have a double shot kit that are designed for people that do like want to spend a little more time working with a single collection. So it's amazing. I think that for the price of them, they probably saved me more than that. And like I am paying shipping to Canada for my kit and um Canadian conversion rates. So that part definitely is a factor when you're shipping internationally, which you just heard that they do. They ship to me here in Canada. And yeah, I'm just always super impressed. In addition to the kit, you saw that I do opt into the flavor of the month for the coffee flavor. I also they also hook you up with a sketch challenge and a cut file. And do I have I downloaded it so that I could show you, but I didn't put it on the thing. I don't know where I put it on my oh, there they are. Okay. This month's cut file was good question, Alice. No, I don't remember. I just downloaded a few of them that I had missed yesterday. So sorry, I don't have that available. Cannot remember. Amazing, amazing kits. I can't speak highly enough of them. And for them to sponsor a free kit to give away, I am so appreciative of that. So I buy my kit. I'm happy to do it. Okay, should we get back to the page? Get back to the scrapping. Okay, let's bring it back. Right there. There, still here. Okay, so looking at these photos, just moving them around to kind of see where I like them more. And we have some good titles. I do have a nice little love. I've got a thank you kind of phrase. We've got um you did it. You were not alone. Um it's the good vibes. I kind of I like the little love one. I think I could use that more as an accent. And I almost feel very inclined to say congratulations on this page, actually, so I might do that. Congratulations, you've survived me this long. That would be pretty applicable, actually. Uh, there's like this one dude's head right behind me in this picture. It's like it's giving me stalker vibes, honestly. Like, is there a way that I can cover his face, even just a little, right? So that it has like less of that stalker vibe to it. We might do that. Oh, so funny. A well-placed embellishment or a word phrase or something might be good there. Okay, so we have this. I need a spot for putting some journaling. So let's figure out how I'm going to add some journaling to this page. And I think that, um, mm, now I say I don't rob from other kits, but I was really fascinated by that one little envelope. And I think the colors would work okay on this. Like, they will work okay on this. It definitely has different style, but I kind of like this. So we're gonna rob that, and that's what embellishments are for, right? Yeah, for covering up the weird things. So here we go. I'm gonna rob this embellishment from the other kit, but that means I'm using it, and that's what they're for also, right? Uh, let's uh let's get this onto the thing. And so when I fold those over, they are sticking out funny. Okay, I have to cut that off. Where's my scissors? Use, don't hoard, says Sue, right? Well, I know that you totally understand that because she's been using mostly stuff from her stash for what, over 2 years now? Very impressive. Okay. This paper is so thick because this is the 49 market stuff. So you'll see me getting my scoring tool out again just to make sure that I can get this. I might actually cut these corners. No, I'm gonna want my stuff to slide in there nice. Okay. Okay, so I think we're ready for some tape. Now, normally I wouldn't put like a little pocket near the top so much, but I kind of like this idea. Now, I do have these extra photos that I think if I do this right, I can tuck those into that pocket too. Because, like, why not? Right? It could just be like extra things. In fact, I did that on a page yesterday. Would you guys like to see? Yeah. We'll maybe look at this kind of stuff after. But this is the page that I did for yesterday for our load challenge. And I wanted to add journaling, but like look at the size of the photo that I use. It's amazing, right? So I wanted to add words, but I needed space. So I turned the whole photo pretty much into a pocket. Not quite the whole photo. I will tell you like um where this fits down to right here is about here. So not even the whole photo, but I fit the whole photo on, but I had a lot of pictures of us in front of the harbor bridge because we were in and out of the harbor a couple of times with the cruise that we did. And I was just really excited by it. So I thought, why not print off some more photos? And so I included all of these extra photos of us in front of the harbor bridge. And it's not like they have their own separate story, right? It's all part of the same, like, I'm obsessed. Look at how cool it is. We're in Sydney. This is the harbor bridge. So um, I told the one story with it. I added all of these extra photos to the page just by having them in the pocket like this. And I think that turned out super good. So, you know, having those extra photos tucked into a little pocket or a little card that maybe sits in this envelope, right? That might be kind of a cool idea for this. Now, you'll notice I still haven't stuck down this little circle in the background because I want to make sure that I'm laying out stuff the way I'm happy with before I do that. So, and then having a title down here, maybe part of it on here. Ooh, those letters love would look really good on there, actually. Sitting right on top of there, that would look nice. Okay, I'm gonna do that too. So let's I'm just gonna put the tape on here, but I'm not gonna pull it apart yet. Trickiest part of tape. But I'll tell you, paper tape, amazing. If you don't use paper tape yet, that is one of my biggest recommendations. It sticks anything for starters, like everything sticks when you use paper tape, but also it is so easy to work with because you're just tearing off the little pieces. You do have to pry the little bits off. That is a little pain, but you know, it's not too bad because the paper part is like usually firm enough that it separates pretty well. Okay, so we've got this, got that. We've got the little love letters that are going to sit on here. Actually, these letters remind me of, I recently got to pick up a little tea from the Buckingham Palace tea shop. And the little container, the little tin that's in is so beautiful and adorable. I actually set up this a really fun little display. I'll pull up the picture and I'll show you guys because it was hilarious. I got home and I was like, I need to set up the cutest little tea thing ever because this was adorable. This is the little box. Okay. Let's I think I can just add them like this. Do they do? Okay. So here's one. This is the little tin, and so this is what just these letters just reminding me of. This is like a little tin of tea, and this turn this one on. Here you go. So I set up like a little display with a teacup that I got from my mom with a little tea cookie and the sugar and the little tea box. I thought it was just adorable. So that is me indulging in my little things. And I just thought it was so cute. So when I saw these little letters, because like they have like the little gold embossing on them and just the style of the letters, that would have been perfect for that photo of my tea, right? but but that's okay. They're just super cute. Okay, so that's great. Now I just want to think about what I'm going to put onto this little card that I'm going to make with now I have this fabulous stripy paper that I think I could use for part of this card, or because it's more about writing, I could try to do like this little a piece of this. Okay, I'm not sure. Now let's see. How tall do I want it to be? About 4 inches. So kind of like the idea of this stripe stuff. And it'll stick out just a little bit, but not too much. But here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna cut it as a full 4-inch strip. And then within there, I'm going to fold it. and have a few different little folds in here. Now I'm pretty sure it's just over 4 inches. So if I make it 4 inches folded, it should slide into there and be good. If I have to trim a little off, that might, do I want to do a little less than 4? I'll do just a little under 4 actually, just to make sure it works. So I'll just put a score line on here. I'm going to put this at the same spot. Now, obviously, I'm not going to be able to write on this. I'm going to have to put some like white paper on the inside or something, but it'll be on the inside and it'll be all hiding. So it's not just like boring. It's not as like boring. Okay. Now I'm putting this and it's like not looking very straight. So I'll try harder, Alice. And pay attention. Okay, now the one side is going to be too long because I did leave it too long, but that's okay. I'll just trim it off in a sec. The thing is, as I trim it off, I have the option to do maybe something interesting on the trim, right? So perhaps I'll leave it like this. So I could leave it, I've got the long side here at the top right now. And does it fit? Okay, so I've got it folded a little weird. That's okay. It does fit in here. So it's a little tricky for in and out. I'm gonna take just a little bit off. So this is like where I had made it for us. So I've changed my mind 3 times in how I'm making this, but you'll see why in a second when I finally get to it. So it's gonna be all cute. And so with this piece sticking out a little bit more on this side, I'm gonna do like a cute little scallopy edge or something on here. I want it to look adorable. Okay. So whether I should do that or adding a piece of scallop to it. Do I want it scalloped in the top or do I want it scalloped the other way? There's the question of the day, right? I guess I could try it like this, and if I don't like it, I've got a little extra space. Okay, so I never use these punches looking the right way. I just line up this corner here, making sure that I have my paper really flat pushed in, and then you just go down until the next one. Make sure that you have all of the... So it doesn't really stand out a lot because I did it like that. I think a little white frilly piece would actually be cuter, or I could just take a little piece of lace or something. This is just scrap sitting on my desk, and I think that could be a little cute. No, I don't like it as much. Okay, I'm gonna take a piece of just of white, and I'm gonna cut this, and then I'm gonna put it on the other way. So all of the little doodads that we do like this to our pages when we obsess over some little stripy pocket, or am I going to have, the perfect little, yeah, that's going to be so cute. All of this little stuff that makes it so cute, that makes it so pretty, that does all of this stuff, right? I really look at that, and yes, I spend a lot of time on it, but when it comes down to it, that's not the part that makes the scrapbooking itself as important. Now, I could have done this page just fine and not added a story to it, but I feel like I do myself a disservice if I don't add a little story and take the time to put that journaling on there. And so I have made it kind of an important part of my scrapbooking. Now, I will tell you, that doesn't mean that every single page I make has a story on it. They don't. Some of them I just make because they're pretty and fun. And that's okay. I think there's balance in there somewhere. Okay, so let's do that. I like the idea of that. Now I'm gonna cut this piece off. There we go. That'll tuck into here. And then I'll have a little pocket to add my words. There'll be a few little extra embellishment-y type pieces that end up on here because, you know, sometimes you just can't resist. But yeah, I think this is pretty good. So that's going to be on there. That's going to go like that. And I'm going to put, I think, the word congratulations because it's kind of cracking me up on here. Unless I can't get the photos to layer. No, it'll work. That'll work. Okay, so that's kind of what's going to go there. That's where this page is at. The rest of it is just literally fiddling. And I'm not very good at doing that on camera. Let's be real about that. It's like this. When I film like a process video and I have to cut something out, I'm like, wow, I think I moved that paper 50 times. It's like the most ridiculous thing when you see it on the camera. And I'm like, I uh I wonder why that took me so long. And it cracks me up. So before I switch over and I'll open the floor to anybody that might want to share something that you've made lately, we could maybe do a little show and tell if you have something. I will bring my load layouts over and I'll show and tell those. As you can see, this one is nearly finished and needs the story and to have the final pieces put together, but I'll show you. So this one was my day 10 page, and that went really good. We were drawing inspiration from Pierce Brosnan yesterday, and his so the video game GoldenEye was very successful. The celebration of that and making a widely acclaimed video game that people actually really enjoyed. It got awards kind of from critics and players. So we talked about that. And so we scrapbooking about a successful moment that you've scrapbooked, use paint or painterly technique, or use steel blue. Obviously, I did not use steel blue, although his shirt is kind of that color. But I thought that I definitely had celebrated this bridge, whether that's not, it might not be my accomplishment, but I think it was well celebrated on our trip. So I kind of took that um, a little tongue in cheek with the way I interpreted the prompt, but that happens a lot when I scrapbook. So. And next up, we did Timothy Dalton, something that you've made or a discovery you've made or something that you've learned. I think I was the featured designer for this day, actually. And it says time for a hidden element on your page, perhaps a pocket or a sneakily hidden embellishment. Now, I made this page about discovering how soft kangaroos were. I had cut these letters out of some soft kind of paper that I've had in my stash for a million years. It's almost like a fabric, but not a fabric. Um, but anyways, I did that. And for a sneaky thing, no, there are no pockets, nothing hiding, but there is something hiding because if you look really closely, I have hidden little kangaroos. I think this one totally disappeared, actually, the little pink one. But there's a little kangaroo that I've kind of snuck into the background. This one could have been a better color too, but um yeah, so in the end I hid some kangaroos on the page and I thought that was adorable. It made me laugh when I'm doing it. So uh before that we were drawing inspiration from Roger Moore, and he is a self-described pacifist, which you might kind of find interesting for somebody that's running around with a gun on James Bond. But scrapbook an activity you enjoy for some peace and relaxation, and include some doodles or handmade art. Now, I chose paper that had kind of some doodly effects. So I didn't actually add my own doodles, but I did add all of the rub-ons in my own effect and style. So I was leaning on that, and peace and relaxation. It was hot tub time on a holiday, so uh definitely fits the bill. And that's my hubby's mom. She came with us on this trip. So uh, next up before that, we had Scrapbook, something that you, George Lazenby, really went after the role of Bond, whether he had the experience to do it or not. And Scrapbook, something you really wanted or pursued, and how did it go? Use a frame. And so, uh, yeah, so this looks like a happy anniversary page, but this really does tell the story of my necklace. A slightly like uh nice version of it, and how I really fell in love with this necklace, and I kind of gave him the, he was highly resistant. That was the word I used, highly resistant to buying it. But in the end it hung around my neck, so there we go. Um Then we had a day where we scrapbooked about David, or inspired by David Niven, and something that was left out. He's kind of left out of the official Bond kind of categories because he wasn't in an Eon production, and to create a clean and classic style of scrapbook layout inspired by him as a character. I wouldn't say this is really clean or classic, but it was something left out, and I interpreted this as my son had bought this gigantic Costco teddy bear. Like, it is gigantic, like massive. Like, there is a chair underneath this bear. Like, you can't even tell. Um, and he just left it laying all over my house. And since it was left out, I had a laugh and I said, let's wrap it up for Christmas. And like, it wasn't obviously a present that we gave him, but I encouraged my husband to help me wrap it. And I think that went, it was really funny. It was super funny when he saw it all wrapped up. We had a really good laugh. Uh, on Sean Connery Day, we talked about Sean Connery didn't fit the profile of what James Bond was supposed to be. And it's so funny because everybody's like, well, Sean Connery was Bond, he totally was that. But once he was in the character, he didn't fit the novels, but once he was in the character, he so became Bond that Ian Fleming actually wrote characteristics in his next Bond novels that fit Sean Connery. So it was very interesting. And then of course we did our whole tartan versus plaid discovery that day due to his Scottish roots. And we were using some plaid. And so mine was like scrapbook about something you've made your own, from a relationship to a recipe to the comfort of your home. And we made this day our own, even though it was soggy and rainy. And um, last month I was doing a live thing, and I had come across like a little bottle of some glitter paste that was almost too dried up, and I added it to a whole bunch of random different things with some stencils, and this was one of the things I had done. It's like the little raindrops on this page, so it was really fun to use up one of those little papers that I had prepped last month. Let's see here. Bond, James Bond. We were scrapbooking the origin of a name, and Um, and this is Dolores. That is my sourdough bread dough, like the starter. Um, I had one named Augustus Gloop that I had made for myself, and then my next one was a starter that I bought, and I named her Dolores. And the character of James Bond was actually picked off of a book that Ian Fleming had, and it was a bird book by an ornithologist by the name of James Bond. And when he read the name, he was like, well, that's like the most boring, like non-descriptive name ever. And so to honor the ornithologist, we included feathers or birds on our page. So we talked about the producers, like of the Eon Productions producers. We talked about the whole broccoli Saltzman relationship there. And what was something that you tried once but haven't repeated, or that you love so much that it continued? We talked about how Dr. No was not the first book, but it became the first Eon Productions movie. And we talked about the relationship between Broccoli and Saltzman and how it could be a bit bumpy. And so we're supposed to create layout with texture, dimension, or contrast. So I did this market to plate experience as a cruise excursion where we went to the market and the guy showed us all the stuff and we ate it. I didn't like most of it, honestly. I don't eat seafood and fish, and I knew it was going to be a lot of that. Oh, Sharon, see ya. And but this background that I made for this, you can kind of see it a little more from how I planned it on the back there. There was some stamped concrete, and that was there, and I pulled the idea of that concrete. I drew it out all on the back, and I sat and I used an embossing tool and a soft mat to kind of do this background. And then I just took a little um, sanding block and like scuffed the surface for it just to kind of give myself this background. So I had some fun with that. I did a little test piece and then I'm like, yeah, okay. And then when I went to do the whole page, I'm like, this sucks. This is so boring and repetitive. My hand is hurting. So, some of the fun ideas. My paid day two, we talked about the 007 books, and writing is an activity often enjoyed indoors. Create a list of 7 indoor activities that you enjoy. Use 7s on your layout, 7 embellishments or photos or papers. And so I actually followed the directions for once. uh, 7 things that you enjoy, mostly indoors, I will say. That's the same photo, you guys. That's the same hot tub photo. Just saying, that's the same photo. When you have good stuff, you can tell different stories with the same photo. Just saying. So I said 7 favorite cruise to-dos because I thought this was kind of a fun thing. Dressing up for dinners, balcony photos. I couldn't believe how many photos that I took on my balcony. And I think that's the only kind of thing you realize when you come back. You're like, wow, there's me taking a picture on my balcony again. The lovely treats and desserts, the photo shoots and formal nights, the production shows, the and the drinks, the yoga, the hot tub and relaxing. So very fun. And then our first cruise, Kelly says her 7 things were cruise things too. 7 things to do inside when it on a cruise when it rains. Actually, all of those things are, except for maybe the balcony photos, but even the hot tub is awesome when it rains, actually. One of my favorite things is a hot tub in the rain. And then for day number 1, it was inspired by Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, which was also written by Ian Fleming, the author of James Bond. And it was scrapbook something a bit surprising about yourself or a loved one, perhaps a special talent, skill, or interest. Use a typewriter element or typewriter font. So this is my closest, like it looks like a typewritery font for my title. And I talked about the excitement of the egg drop challenge and how we had created our Princess Egg Express cruise ship out and the whole drama behind that and how we didn't just win once, we were a double yoker, so we won both the style points of prize and we won the egg drop challenge. So that was we had a lot of fun with it, and that was my page for that, so kind of funny. Anyways, let's go here. So as you can see, I've been having a very good time with load this month. It has been so good. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun. So if you're a Scrap Happy member and you haven't been making your load pages because it just hasn't been on your radar yet, then hop right in. It's all there. And come as you are, right? Hop in the car, come as you are. And then we'll continue that all month. And if you're not a Scrap Happy member and you're like, this sounds really fun, how do I get to play? Well, you can be a Scrap Happy member. You know, come to scraphappy.org, check it out. Should I put something on the thing? Scrap Happy. Oh, here's the subscription. So anybody that's watching the replay and isn't on the thing to take part in these live things, this is where you go. scraphappy.org/subscribe. There we go. Oh, some of my favorite products are listed here on the faves page. I think that's about all I have. You can find me on Instagram. That's right. There we go. I had to think really hard there for a second. I'm like, which way should I point? But yeah, super fun. Okay, question. Does anybody have any pages that they would like to show and tell for us today? I post this on my YouTube channel. So please know that, and it will be shared within the membership. But if you have a page or something that you made that you would like to share, then we would love to see it. So I will open the floor to that. Feel free to wave at me or turn your mic on and say, me. Amy has her hand up. So let's put you on spotlight. Go ahead and turn your mic on.
I have been using this load challenge on most days to work on album maintenance project that I needed to catch up on. So I made these scrapbooks from the summer of 2012, but I got so excited to be done with the project because it took forever for me to make that I just left the covers blank. So I've been going back and making the covers for the albums and actually designing the layout and numbering them because I started, this will just be like one or two little mini albums, and then it ended up being 12 albums. So I had to cover them. So there's this one. Let's see if I can find my favorite one. This one's my favorite one.
Aww. These turned out so good.
Yeah, so it's been fun to just get to design, it's a layout of it because it's a cover of my layout of my albums. But yeah, it's been fun. So I'm hoping I can finish that before I travel again next week. So
Yay. Well, I'm so glad to see. And I think when we look at a layout, it doesn't have to be like a 12 by 12 paper thing. It can be something that fits more with projects that you have on the go. I love it. Thank you so much for sharing. And Diane said that she loves your paper that you chose. So yeah, there's nobody else that has made anything that you're like, oh, let me share. That's okay. I'll just let you know what's coming up. I don't think we have the June Scrapbook Live listed yet. It's usually one of the first Saturdays of the month, but I do know that there is a thing going on the first Saturday, I believe. So I don't think it will be that one. So quickly off the top of my head, oh, no, it might end up being on the 1st or the 15th. So that's the options that I'll have for the June Scrapbook Live session. So if you're trying to catch this next month, you can go to the scraphappy.org website. And if you look at the free events, you can actually follow the Google Calendar and they'll just be added right to your calendar for you. And then, of course, the notifications come out 15 minutes before the live thing with the link, and usually the day before with the day before, morning of, with your reminder for that. And yeah, so it'll be also added to the Scrap Happy calendar. So uh, that's the easiest way to make sure you have everything, is the Scrap Happy calendar. And then yeah, for members, do we have going on? Next Friday is one of our Scrap Happy Together sessions. We will have Scrap School added to the calendar here soon. And on the 28th, we have our happy hour. So lots of fun stuff coming up. But by Monday, you'll have access to the Unexpected Inspiration Challenge. We've got one of those ready for posting. And yeah, should be a lot of fun coming up within our membership. So come and check out Scrap Happy. Be sure to check out the Scrap Room for their amazing kits. I love them so much, and I'm so appreciative that they have chosen to continue to sponsor the free prizes, because giving away free prizes is super awesome. Congratulations to Rachel from today. And I hope that you'll join me next month as we get to do this all over again, but with fun new papers that we'll get to explore and make some fun scrapbook pages. Okay, you guys, until next time, happy scrapping. I look forward to seeing your pages in the load challenge, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.